Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. Today is January 27th, 2020, and it is a Monday. So hopefully you guys are all excited and starting off your week on either a green or positive note. So today was pretty crazy. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, you would have seen that, and I'll show you guys. I was down $400, a little bit over $400 with my first position today. And I want to talk a little bit about that and how I was able to recover. I'm up now $800. I'm done trading for the day. Although I am very, very tempted to take a position if natural gas does begin to show signs of a sell-off. Right now it just aggressively pushed up. But just so you guys could see, my first position today was at 7.15 and my last position was at 9.17. All positions closed just like we do every single day. And a total of $804 profit. In the past, 5 days of trading. This is 5 days because due to observance of MLK Day, the market was not open yesterday. I've cleared over $8,000 profit in the past 2 weeks of trading, a total of 10 days of trading. So super happy, super thankful. I have not had a red day. Again, I know I thought today was going to be my red day. I've had red trades just like I had one today. But what I want to talk about is my biggest focus. I didn't know really what to call this video. I was going to call it like the best indicator, or I can call it the best strategy, because at the end of the day, we're all entitled to our own opinion. And one of the things that I wanted to share with each and every single one of you is that I have had one primary focus that has really assisted me as a day trader. I understand that if you're an investor, if you have a different focus in the stock market, it might be a little bit different. But I have to say, single-handedly, direction is number one for me. You guys can call it price action, you guys can call it, higher highs, whatever the case may be. I have noticed that by being able to focus, you still have to do the and stick to the very core principles when it comes down to when there's an opportunity that presents itself, when it comes down to, making sure that you get in for a good deal, making sure that you wait for confirmation. All that is super important. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today is I really began to see a difference in my trading when I began to focus on direction. And I want to give you guys an example. I feel like a lot of people, as of right now, like natural gas or degas is a perfect example. I'm not saying that this approach is ever wrong. I'm just saying that I feel like you get put more often than not in an uncomfortable situation when you always try to buy the dip just because it's oversold, just because certain indicators are referring it to be a good deal, doesn't always make it a good buy. And again, this is just my opinion, and this is based off of my experience, what I've learned from it. And one of the things that I really began to see, and I can go ahead and click here, I can click show trades just so you guys can see exactly what it is that we have going on. So I made $400 profit, and one of the things that I really began to see with DGAS is I was down about $400 on UGAS, but it was on DGAS that I began to make that recovery. And how did that happen? Well, as natural gas began to push up, DGAS pulled back. And one of the mistakes that I've made so often, and right now we're actually seeing signs of a bounce, but one of the mistakes that I've made so often, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you agree, but it's not so much about always buying the dip. It's not so much about always trying to get the best deal. What I've noticed has worked very well for me is position size. So I try to take a smaller position size if the direction is unclear. But when the direction is confirmed and in my favor, right? When it's actually making higher highs, then I add more to my position size. And when that direction is in my favor, it's not always perfect and things can always go south, as anything can, right? But when that direction begins to go in your favor, it's just so much easier with how to manage your emotions, how to manage your position size when you actually wait for confirmation. And I saw an opportunity here. So again, natural gas pulled back, or natural gas was pushing up, so DGAS, which is the inverse ETN, pulls back. It then begins to consolidate, which means that it's a fancy word to flatline. It begins to offer this horizontal pattern, right? That is not when I would say that it's the best time to take a position. It just depends on how aggressive you are. If you're a little bit more conservative, then you maybe really want to wait for true higher highs and only take a position then. One of the things that I do is I don't actually take a position until or I take a small position when I begin to see consolidation. But when I begin to actually make money, when things, when I actually get the confirmation, when we break above the EMA line, when we begin to make higher highs, when the direction begins to become and be part in our favor, meaning that it's actually increasing in value, then that's, again, when I'll add a heavier position. So like you guys saw here, I first got in with 50 shares at 255, and then I added 100 shares, which is twice the size of that position size, about $2 or $1.70 more than when I originally entered. And again, it just became so much easier that once I got that confirmation, when things were actually going according to plan, then it made sense to, okay, I'm gonna go in here, and then looking at previous resistance levels, I decided to lock in profits at 259, and then it hit highs of 264. So it's not, again, about the coulda, shoulda, woulda. There's no perfect indicator. There is no perfect approach in the stock market. It's whatever works best for you. And one of the things that I have noticed is that, in my opinion and in my experience, looking at DGAS right now, this is almost a perfect example that it aggressively sold off. It began to consolidate, so it's forming a support, and it's not so much like right now. I would, if I wasn't already up, the $800, I would potentially have taken a position, a small position, like 50 shares, right? Small in correlation to what I trade with, right? But then once I get confirmation, once we actually begin to make higher highs, once we begin to actually make money, then if something is making you money, doesn't it make sense that, okay, I probably would want to add more to it if I have that option, right? To then make more. Makes sense, right? Confirmation and direction is so important. Position sizing, again, is also something that for myself and the way that I trade, have found to be something very effective. But at the end of the day, whatever indicator, whatever MACD, whatever, at the end of the day, what I find to be most effective and most important, so not just for one trading day that made me $800, right? But for the past 10 days, the past 2 weeks of trading, to be up over $8,000 in profit, again, I have found it to be super, super effective to focus on direction, to allow the opportunity to present itself. So if you are so certain that as something is oversold, that it has to reverse, then do your part as a trader to wait for confirmation. I choose to take a smaller position, right, before the confirmation, which is viewed as a little bit more aggressive. It comes at a greater risk, right? But it's just the way that I do things. So if you are someone that's just getting started, if you are more of a beginner, right, and maybe you are under the PDT rule, then maybe approaching the idea of waiting for true confirmation. This is all something that you can test, right? These are all strategies that you can test. Nothing is a perfect working strategy for everyone. So what I would encourage you is, if you see value in this, and if you're really struggling to stay green, not even grow your account, but to even stay green, ask yourself, are you normally taking a position as something is still selling off before true confirmation? And then maybe this is something that on your free time you can test and you can challenge yourself. You can do that with paper trading, you can do that with simulation trading. There's so many different ways on how you can test this. It doesn't have to be with your real account and with real money. Again, nothing is a perfect working system until you test it out and you refine it for it to be your own. I think we could all agree on that, right? So I really hope that I earned your thumbs up. Again, I just wanted a little bit of a different video. Not so much just talking about my profits and my overall day, but talking a little bit more about what has assisted me in being able to stay consistently profitable for the past 2 weeks. I know that in the next series of days, I'm bound to have a red day, right? I mean, today I started off at $400 of a loss. So I thought today was gonna be my red trade, right? So I am trying to do my part in managing risk, watching my position size, but when things do begin to increase in value and I see that direction to be in my favor, I tend to add pretty, heavy on my position and I lock in profits right away. That's been my biggest focus, waiting for confirmation, watching my position size, overall direction, and then at any indication of a resistance, I don't care how much you're up, it doesn't matter how much you're down, right? At any indication of a resistance, do your part as a day trader or as an investor to lock in profits. It doesn't matter about how much you hope to make. Let's be honest, this market is not made for hopeful traders, and you guys will get eaten when it comes down to your overall account, and giving back all your profits. Just do your part as a trader and only take trades that makes sense to you? And does it make sense to enter a position as things are selling off? Or does it make sense to enter a position when things are actually increasing in value? A little question to ask yourself. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Very simple video today. Again, if you guys have not joined our free investing group, we're the largest one on Facebook. It's absolutely for free, and that's going to be that first link down below. You guys heard me talk about them in this video. If you guys want to be able to watch me trade live every single morning for at least 30 minutes, that's going to be that first link down below. So whenever you're ready and you want to learn a little bit more about the Learn, Plan, Profit group, click the second link down below. I think I might have said first link. Second link down below. Learn a little bit more about the Learn, Plan, Profit group. Inform yourself and see if what we offer is a good fit for you. If so, we'd love to work with you guys on a closer basis. Like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note.